Hi, my name is Tim and I'm a third-year student in the University of Sheffield. Today we are here at the University Health Service, known as the UHS, to find out some ways that doctors and nurses can help students during their time in Sheffield. Let's take a look inside. Here we are inside the University Health Service. If you have booked an appointment, either by phone or online, you can bypass any queue and check yourself in on the monitor there. And then you can just take a seat in the waiting area. Otherwise, you can queue up at the reception line and book an appointment for a future date. When you're sat in the waiting area, make sure to position yourself so that you can see the screen right behind me. When the medical staff is ready to see you, your name and the room number that you have to go to will appear on the screen. Now we're going to talk to some medical staffs in UHS. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today, Doctor.
That's quite all right. It's my pleasure.
Is the University Health Service just for the students from the UK?
No, the University Health Service is actually open to all students at the university, regardless of whether you're from the UK or you're an international student. But we also, as well as that, see what we call the dependence of students. So, for example, if a student has children, or a partner that they live with, then as long as they are within our local area, we will also see them.
If students come here to the UHS to see doctors, would they be on the record of the UHS?
Well, when you see a doctor or a nurse here at the health service, everything is documented in your medical records. But we must be very clear that that's absolutely confidential, and even though we are actually a university department, it is not open to other departments in the university or other people in the university. So, it would be on your medical records here at the UHS, but it is not free to access for anyone else in the university.
So the doctor do not share any details of the consultation with academic staffs?
Absolutely not, unless we have the consent from the patient. So, for example, sometimes patients would like us to discuss things with their personal tutor, or perhaps somebody from Disability and Dyslexia Student Services. If that is the case, then we get consent and we discuss with other people. But your records are absolutely confidential, and the only time we would ever discuss would be either with your consent or, I suppose, in exceptional circumstances if it was thought to benefit the patient's safety. But that would be very, very unlikely.
So does the UHS work with other services on campus?
Yes, we are. Even though we are, health providers, we specifically, as a university department, we actually encourage that we liaise with our other departments. But again, this is only for the benefit of the student and hopefully to help facilitate them to do as well as they can studying at university. So, for example, as part of student services, we have close liaisons with the University Counselling Service, Disability and Dyslexia Support Services, and also, if required, the Critical Support Team.
So if a student is ill outside the UHS opening time, is there anything they can do about it?
Well, definitely. I mean, as I said, any NHS patient, you are entitled to 24-hour-a-day care, 365 days of the year. So if, for example, we were closed, then you have several options should you want care. One, locally, would be we have a walk-in centre not far from the university on Broad Lane, and you don't have to be registered there, but they essentially provide similar services to us, but they are open from 8 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, 7 days a week, and that's for the whole year. Should they be closed and you have a concern, then another potential option would be you can phone 111. This is a 24-hour national number, and this is for out-of-hours care. Predominantly it was for phone advice, However, if you need to see a GP, we have on-call clinics and they can arrange an appointment through 111. Other than that, obviously, if it's an emergency, we have the accident and emergency, which is over on the Northern General Hospital on the other side of the city, and that obviously is open 24 hours a day, every day of the year. And finally, I think another potential option, there is also a minor injuries clinic, which is at the Hallamshire Hospital, and that is open 8 in the morning till 8 at night every day.
So, do the UHS doctors ever visit students at their home?
Certainly, as part of our provision of services, if, for example, someone was seriously ill and felt unable to come in to see the GP, they can phone in, and what would happen is that message would be given to the on-call doctor on that day, and they would contact the patient and either arrange for the patient to be brought here, or if they deemed it appropriate, they would visit the patient at home. So it is something that could be considered, and certainly as a patient, if you felt that was what was required, then you just have to phone the health service and we'll take it from there.
Thank you for your time again, Doctor.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time today, Rachel.
You're welcome.
What is the role of the nurses here at the UHS?
Practice nurses at the University Health Service run surgeries every day. There are male and female nurses, and they liaise very closely with the general practitioners, the doctors, and they can refer patients to the doctors as appropriate. They deal with a wide range of problems, ranging from routine cervical smears, foreign travel advice and vaccinations, general health advice, asthma, management of injuries, and contraception and contraception follow-up services. There's other services as well, including an eating disorders services and a minor ailment services. So we cover an awful lot of topics.
So some students might come from countries where contraception might not be fully free. So is everything here in UK available free?
In the United Kingdom, within the NHS, every form of contraception is completely free, and that includes any oral form of contraception, any condoms, any intrauterine device like the coil, an implant, and also the morning after pill, or what we call the emergency contraceptive pill.
So what sort of things would you discuss with a student if they came here a first time about contraception?
There are many things that we would discuss with the student regarding contraception. At the University Health Service, if you have never had the contraceptive pill from us before, you would have to see the GP for your first consultation. And at that consultation, the GP would check that your health is okay, and that the correct form of contraception is appropriate for your health, and ask you what form of contraception you might prefer.
Is there anything students can do if they have unprotected sex, or they think the method of contraception has failed?
Absolutely. Within the first 72 hours after unprotected or failed protected sex, there's something called the emergency contraceptive pill, which is a tablet to take orally, and you can obtain that at the University Health Service by a nurse or a doctor. You could also obtain that by a number of pharmacies in Sheffield, and you can also obtain that through the walk-in centre at Broad Lane.
What would students do if they're worried about having sexually transmitted infection?
Sexually transmitted infections can be transmitted through unprotected sex, and any student who feels that they have had unprotected sex can come along to the University Health Service and book directly into either a male sexual health clinic, which is run by our male nurse, or a female sexual health clinic, which is run by our female nurses. It's a 20-minute appointment. The majority of that 20 minutes is just asking questions, so asking a bit more detail about the sexual encounter that you may have had. and then an examination, if the patient is happy for that, is done at the very end of that consultation, and some swabs may be taken and sent off to the laboratory, and then they would get the results from those tests in usually about a week's time.
Thank you for your time again, Rachel.
You're welcome.
Thanks. I hope you found this video useful. If you need more information about registering for international students, please visit this website below. Okay, until next time, see ya, bye.